said, if you say so.
If you would,
All right.
If you would, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Si. Good morning. Welcome to our January TID meeting for Delaware County's Transportation Improvement District. I'll welcome you all and ask if there's any public comment. Just came to watch, huh? So, all right, welcome. We have a fairly abbreviated meeting agenda today. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from our most recent meeting, which was September 11th, 2024. You've had a chance to review those. I would entertain a motion to amend or approve.
Move for approval.
Second. Motion, need a second. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under board reports, do any of our members have any topics to report?
Not at this time.
All right. Thank you. I just in a New Year's attitude of reflection, I thought a lot in the last month or so about how blessed we are to be here in Delaware County, to have the resources that we have to do the kind of things that we do. And we have big challenges, but we have the ability to have big solutions to those challenges. And so there's a lot to be thankful for. And this TID board is one of the really important things that's been added in the last few years. And as I see our reports grow, our budget grow, our activity grow over the course of time, really thankful that the commissioners took the step that they did to create this board, and I'm thankful for all of you for your service. So thank you for that. As we look ahead to 2025, there'll be some of the, well, no argument that it is the most significant thing that we've accomplished to date. We'll start this year with work on the interchange modification and work at 36 and 71 that moved forward because this board was able to advance the design and keep that project moving. So look forward to big things this year and beyond. So thank you again. Item 5 on our agenda is the Secretary Treasurer's report. Si, would you like to take us through that?
Yeah, the current cash balance is $2,919,013.47.
Any questions for Si? I'd entertain a motion to accept the Treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll move to item 6, the staff report and discussion of new projects. Rob Riley, as always, has prepared a thorough report for us, and Rob will ask you to take us through that.
Okay, well, good morning, Happy New Year, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have, as you said, Chris, we have a lot going on now. We're, I would say, a high-functioning transportation improvement district at this point. We are actively working on or involved in 5 different projects currently. I'll run through these pretty quickly. Feel free to jump in with any questions or comments. Start off with the Beanola Road improvements. You'll recall this was a project we put together fairly quickly last year in response to an effort by Liberty Township and partnering with Olentangy Local Schools to upgrade a section of Beanalla Road just to the west of Sawmill Parkway. And this will be useful for when Olentangy Schools does build their next elementary school. Put a little snapshot of a photo I took after the project was done last fall. It turned out pretty nice. We got a good section of road upgraded and paved, all under budget by about 7.6%. And we will, looks like, have an estimated TID share of about $64,000, and we will collect about $18,000 administrative fee on that project. So roughly out of pocket about $48,000, excuse me, $46,000 for that project. So next one, the Silicon Heartland Regional Projects. You'll recall we are working on 3 roundabouts on County Line Road. 2 of those are being developed by Delaware County. The third is an ODOT project, which the grant was actually made to the TID. We kind of turned around and worked out a deal with ODOT where they will be developing that project at Route 37. So those are moving forward on schedule. The County Engineer's Office will be working on right-of-way acquisition starting very shortly for the 2 southern roundabouts at Fancher and Center Village. And we would expect to hopefully have right-of-way acquisition wrapped up this summer and be in a position to award those contracts in the fall. So that meets the schedule requirements for the funding. I'll obviously keep you up to date as we move ahead on those, but everything is looking good so far. I will say we've had a considerable amount of coordination effort and discussion with Licking County. As you may know, Licking County received some funding through both the Silicon Heartland program as well as the Department of Development in response to the Intel project. And they have a really significant program of local road upgrades in that same area. Duncan Plains is one of those roads. County Line Road is one of those roads that they'll be upgrading. So we're going to have to do some coordination on the construction timeframes between our 2 projects, but we've been working on that to make sure roads are open and people can get where they need to go during that time. So next project, the 363771 interchange. Very happy to report that the Phase A plans have been filed with ODOT. Central Office will be working on getting the contract advertised. I believe in March is the current schedule, with an estimated award in May. We do have Phase B and C design underway right now. MS Consultants is working to advance those 2 project phases. It does appear at this point it makes sense to separate out Phase B and C rather than doing them as one construction phase. We think it makes more sense to separate those in 2. Phase B, if you look at the little map inset, that would get the extension of the road west over to 3Bs and K Road. We do think there's good reason and it makes sense to have that project done and open. Phase C is going to take a little bit more time just because it's a more complicated design. It'll be a more complicated construction project with tying in at Route 36, 37 up at the northwest corner. So that's the direction we're going. I do think we'll be in a position to go to construction, if not construction, at least get the contract awarded in 2026. And then I think probably the majority of the work will happen either late 26 or through 27. So more news to come on both of those phases, but just a quick update on where we stand on that project. Next one, the Orange Road Railroad grade separation. You'll recall we worked to submit a grant application in partnership with ODOT and the Rail Development Commission in the fall. We have not heard anything yet. We're still waiting on notifications, or hopefully an award notification from the USDOT. I did check with the Rail Development Commission yesterday. They have not heard anything either, so stay tuned for that. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but that will go a long way to getting us towards the finish line on this project. We applied for 21 million through that federal grant program. Good news, I'm not sure if I shared it at the last meeting, but we did receive a $5 million grant through the state's grade crossing elimination program of $5 million, and then we had a previous commitment from Morpsey for about 8.3 million. So we're chipping away at that big price tag. Hopefully we'll get there very quickly. So, any questions on any of that so far? Last but not least, Bale Canyon Road Phase 2. You'll recall it's probably been a year or more. We discussed this project. Orange Township is working on upgrading Bale Canyon Road. We did provide a $500,000 grant towards the first phase, which was done a little over a year ago. Phase 2 will basically be the south end of Bale Canyon Road from Powell Road going north about 0.3 miles. We had previously discussed providing a $750,000 grant to the township for that phase. If that is still the direction your board would like to go, I will work on getting that project agreement done with the township. I believe the current schedule is to get that project bid here fairly shortly, and then have an award later this, either late winter or early spring, and then that construction will happen this summer. So I'll pause there and ask for any questions or comments.
What was the grant we awarded for phase 1 for that Vale Canyon project? What was the amount of that?
500,000.
Rob, could you just explain, I know it's on the map, but what Phase A is for the 3637 interchange?
Yeah, Phase A is the blue or navy blue outlined area. That will include the ramps to and from I-71. It'll include the bridge over 71 and the connection to Wilson Road on the east side. So we'll not connect on the west to anything, but we'll provide connection to Wilson and the outlet mall, and hopefully provide some immediate relief to the traffic congestion that we currently see there.
Thank you.
So will the ramps on the west side of 71 be built as phase A?
Yes, they will. The short-term configuration will be, if you remember way back in the day when Polaris Parkway opened, before the loop ramp was built, if you're going west, you would actually just turn left and go immediately south on that on-ramp. This will be the same
Same way.
configuration of that. We're deferring that loop ramp in the northwest corner until a later phase, probably phase F or G, once the connection, once Sunbury Parkway gets over to 36 in Sunbury, because at that point, then we'll see a lot of traffic using Sunbury Parkway, and it'll be useful to have that. So I will, if there's no further comments or questions, I'll move on to some of the new projects we've been working on. You'll recall last fall we discussed and your board authorized us to submit an application to Morpsey for grant assistance through some federal funds that Morpsey allocates to Central Ohio. Unfortunately, we're not successful on that. We were one of 4 projects submitting for the system preservation category. Over $27 million in requests were submitted for that category. There was as little as $0 million and potentially more money available for that. The committee at Morpsey did end up funding one project out of that group, but unfortunately we just didn't fare very well in that application process. And I don't know what we could have really done any differently. I think it was a good, solid project because it involved a lot of agencies in Delaware County. It would have been very easy, I will say very efficient to develop that project. Resurfacing is relatively simple in terms of environmental and permitting, which can get very difficult on a federal aid project for some projects, but That said, we'll try again next time. The next application cycle will be in 2026. So hopefully we have better luck next time.
What was the area of Morpsey that accepted, that they did fund?
That was a Franklin County project. Tiffany, do you remember what?
I think it's Cook Road.
Yeah, Cook Road.
Cook Road East.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which section it was.
There's multiple sections of their Cook Road project, so this one is like an extension of what they've already been funded for. So I'm not sure the full extent of the limits of the project.
So if there's nothing further on that, move on to Stockwell Road improvements. I think I introduced this project last fall as a project that would be a joint effort between 4 different townships and Delaware County. If you've been on Stockwell Road, it's a pretty narrow country road. There's a really steep hill as you get closer to the bridge over Big Walnut Creek. And that's really what's motivating the need for this project, to get that hill cut down, improving the sight distance and safety at that hill. So we've been working on getting agreement in front of both, not both, 4 townships actually, because the project will also include resurfacing all the way to Route 61 on the west, and that's actually Berkshire and Kingston townships. So I've shown below in the table kind of an estimated breakdown of what the cost split would look like on this project. Just to summarize, one of the 4 townships will apply for about $400,000 in OPWC funding this fall. I do think this will have a very good chance of getting funded through that program. This type of project that involves a safety improvement, and certainly having four townships plus a county involved makes it pretty competitive in my mind. So we would propose to have an arrangement very similar to what we did on the Beanalla Road project, where the TID finances the cost out of cash on hand and then submits reimbursements to the townships at the end of the job. So our TID contribution would be up to $60,000 for the project minus the administrative fee. So relatively small amount, but I think the benefit of having the TID involved in this is we have the ability to finance the entire construction cost and then divvy up the cost at the end of the job. So any questions or comments on that?
I just wanted to comment and say that I think this is a good project, and really the type of projects I like to see the TID participating in. So thank you for putting it together.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the kind of poster child of kind of project for TIDs to be involved in, where there's multiple agencies.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about that before.
And then last but not least, we have been working with Orange Township on a project, we can call it Pacer Drive or Parkway Drive. This would be a connector road between Gooding Boulevard and Orange Road. You can see it on the map on the next page. This really came about in response to a development proposal that is going through Orange Township zoning right now, called Parkway Plaza. It would be a retail commercial center with a restaurant. I think the importance of this has been heightened by the fact that ODOT is developing the Route 23 Connect project, and part of that project will almost certainly involve removal of some of the accesses on Route 23, some of the minor accesses like Parkway Drive. And so having kind of a backage road network like we currently have on the east side of 23 will be very important moving into the future. With that said, there's a lot of challenges with this project. There are several parcels that the developer does not control. The price tag itself is a big challenge. Overall, we're estimating about $6 to $8 million, depending on what route would be chosen if this were to become a project. So I wanted to get this in front of you, basically for discussion, for your input. We have really no vested interest in advancing a project that your board doesn't support. I think we just want to put out potential projects and get your feedback on those, so.
I'm happy to chime in.
Sure.
I would have some concerns with the TID kind of taking the lead on this project. I think it should be a township TID, not a county TID. I really think it should be development driven. I don't know that this is where we want to spend our dollars or front the costs. I'm also a little concerned about neighborhood issues, and I don't know that the TID wants to get in the middle of those issues. So I guess I would need a lot more information and understanding, but I would be very hesitant to support this.
I'd agree with your concern, Tracy, and Rob and I talked a good bit about this project, and we were sharing it with you to let you know we've been in discussions about it. We're not here with a proposal.
As you should.
Yeah, I mean, we
It's your
wouldn't want
job.
to be engaging in those discussions without sharing that. There's a lot of things that have to line up and things that need to drop into place before there's a role for our
Yeah.
TID. So I'd echo your statement that we definitely don't want to be in the lead on this. If the other issues, the zoning, the township issues are worked out and there's a role for us, then we won't be hitting you the first time with it. So this is really just sharing with you discussion, so.
Yeah, let me ask, so ODOT cuts off Parkway Drive. I don't see on this map, I'm not familiar with the area. Where does Parkway Drive, does Parkway Drive connect someplace else like the West Orange Road or something like that?
It does.
Okay, so
Just
then
off
it's
the
not-
map to the west, there is a.
Yeah, so it's not an
road.
issue for us.
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. It's just more of an issue for Caliber Body Shop,
Correct.
yeah.
And to look at it in a bigger picture, throughout this corridor between Orange Road and North, we have developed a network of service roads parallel to Route 23, and this is probably the most glaring example where we aren't able to do that. Most of those others have been driven by development. We filled in the pieces with small county
That's the key.
projects, and this is one that there's a development coming. There may be a chance to fill in some pieces, but we don't have a defined role yet to propose to you for our board, even for consideration. But we wanted to at least get it out there.
No, I'm glad you did. I mean, that's your role as the county engineer's office, and I appreciate that and the opportunity to comment on it.
Good. Anything else you want to add on that, Rob?
I don't think so. Just state again, this will not be an easy project if it does happen. You know, the projects we just talked about, Stockwell Road, Beanalla Road, those are projects that we have the capability to finance with cash. That's a nice position to be in. This would almost certainly, if in the future we were to develop this project, we would have to seek some loans for this project, and that would be complicated by the fact that we don't have necessarily a definite revenue stream. We do have a pledge of funds from the county commissioners, but that is subject to appropriation. So obviously, securing a loan might be an issue.
Well, it's just like Stockwell Road is a one that really serves a public interest very highly, and this thing here is pretty localized.
No, it tends to be developer driven,
Yeah,
and then you throw ODOT's Connect project, 23 Connect. To me, this is probably just the first shot out of the cannon of these kinds of issues that ODOT is going to force on our plate. Not force on our plate, but it's going to be on our plate, or an
Yeah.
issue. And this is one township too, so it's not all the townships.
So you're right, it is the first tangible evidence of what the 23 Connect
come.
project means to us. But ODOT hasn't been involved in this really in terms of pushing us on this, or we're foreshadowing what's
Yes.
coming with 23 Connect. It's not a project that ODOT's saying to us, you need
There's gonna be multiple businesses come to us and say, I don't have access to 23, how are you gonna help me have a business?
Yes. All right.
So if nothing further on that, I'll just talk briefly through the proposed budget. Hopefully I'm not going out of turn here. I guess that's the
Yeah.
next item anyways.
Go right ahead.
If that's okay. So I'll hit some of the highlights. As Mr. Keeley mentioned, our current cash balance is about $2.9 million. I think that's a very strong position for a TID like ours. We have projects under development, clearly, but we have revenue sources to pay for those. And so some of the, walking through the, let me turn the page here, I guess. My memory isn't that good. So we do have, for this year, a $500,000 pledge by the county commissioners. We have a remaining deposit of $2.25 million. If you'll recall, we agreed to take a $3 million contribution from the county towards the Phase B and C interchange project. We received the first $750,000 of that. I do believe there's consideration by the county commissioners to potentially finance some of the remainder of that, if not all of the $2.25 million, to be reimbursed by future TIF revenues. So I've spoken with Tracy about that, and I think we'll be needing that deposit probably this summer at the latest. So I think we'll obviously be working on getting that money deposited so we can continue Phase B and C design. We do have some outstanding reimbursements from the Beanala Road project for about $327,000. We'll be sending invoices here over the next month or so out to Olentangy Schools and Liberty Township and the County Engineer's Office for their respective shares. Then we do have two other outstanding reimbursements from ODOT for the Silicon Heartland projects that will get invoices out again over that same time frame. So overall, looking at about $3.6 million worth of capital fund revenue, and with the general fund and the the general fund commissioner pledge and the Riverby special assessment reimbursement, and then also interest. I think Secretary Treasurer Keeley had booked $137,000 worth of interest income last year. That's really nice number. So
Pay your salary.
Thank you.
yeah. Interest rates are going down, so it may not be quite as good this year, but so we'll still be in a pretty healthy position in terms of revenue with about $4.2 million of total revenue in 2025. I'm not going to walk through every line, but major expenses are no surprise. The Phase B and C, we think we'll spend about $1.75 million through the end of this calendar year on the Phase B and C. We do potentially have a little bit of work remaining on Phase A. Hopefully we don't have to use much or any of that, but in the event we have to make any updates to the plans. And then Bale Canyon Road, I do have that $750,000 budgeted for the Phase 2 contribution. And then the Silicon Heartland, again, if we are in a position to award that construction contract at the end of the year, we will need to encumber at least the estimated cost through the end of 2025, which probably will not be $1 million, but I've put that in there just in case we are ahead of schedule and they can actually get some work done this fall. So With that, we are projecting we will end 2025 with a balance of about $3.5 million. Again, very strong financial position. So that's my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Rob. Is there anybody have any?
It's just really nice to see us in this position, considering when this thing started, we were pretty much at ground zero.
I don't think it surprises any of us, though.
No. No, it doesn't.
We've all been in situations where we've been surprised the other way.
Yeah.
So this is good. Well, if there are no questions for Rob in that, I'll move to item 7, which is a resolution to approve the 2025 budget. I entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Does anyone have any other business to come before us this morning?
Mr. Chair, the next meeting I have on here is February 12th. Really about the only agenda item I would foresee is if we do have the project agreement for Stockwell Road ready at that time. I don't know whether the townships will have acted on that project agreement by that date, and so there's not a terrible degree of urgency to get that project agreement approved. The construction wouldn't be until 2026 anyway, so I'm happy to, if we want to hold that meeting, we can certainly do that. We could cancel it if it's more convenient, but there's no other urgent items as far as I know.
Why don't we play that out for a couple weeks and let's hold that date, and then if any urgency around that or any other items come up, we'll continue with that meeting, and if not, we'll give you ample notice
Works for
of
me.
cancellation. Does that work?
Yeah, I just kind of hold that time of the month for this meeting anyway, so it's fine.
So we have a tentative date then still of February 12th, if not March certainly. All right. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
With that, motion, and I'll declare us adjourned, and thank you again for your time this morning.
Thank you.